Okay, good morning, everybody. We have a little game. As you know, as I told you, this is a practice about time expressions. So I don't know if you're ready, Carolina, Fatima. Are you ready? Ready to go? I'm going to click start. Please take your time. Don't worry about the time. It's only 13 questions. There are only 13 questions. So this is going to be fine. Okay, here we go. I'm going to press start. Different questions, and we are going to see who is the best of three. Here goes. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, go. start the questions. Carolina, very good. Okay, let's see the questions to review. We have some time expressions that we are using to talk about different activities that we do. For example, Monday. On Monday is the correct one. Number two, morning. What is the correct one?
In morning.
Carolina, Fatima?
In morning.
On the morning, do the morning, or in the morning?
In the morning.
In the morning. April. We use also this time expression to talk about different options. In this case, in is used to talk about months also. So we say in April. I think I show you that last class. Number four, Roberto works on Mondays and Fridays. He works, what is the correct one?
Twice
Twice.
a week.
Twice a week. Because he works in 2 days, in 2 occasions. Number five, how often, what is the correct one? Luis, do Luis, does Luis do?
That's Luis.
Does Luis?
Does Luis, exactly. This is the correct way to formulate a question for a third person. How often refers to the frequency. My mom vacuums here, very important. Well, the picture is very small, but you can click on your cell phone and magnify the illustration, the picture.
Teacher, ¿y qué es vacuums?
Vacuums, good question. Vacuums is something that you love to do. It's a chore. It's when you use a vacuum machine like this one. This is vacuum. What is she doing?
Aspirar.
Aspirando.
Exactly. And you love to do this activity. It's okay. I know these are different activities you do at home. Do the laundry, make the bed, vacuum, iron when you use an iron to press your clothes, and also clean. Clean in this case, clean the windows, something like that. Different activities. I knew that this was a new one, but to review activities. Number seven, my mom irons. Well, iron is this activity. This is iron. So maybe Carolina, that's why you didn't know, but don't worry. One time at the week, my mom irons. It says Thursday. So the correct answer is on Thursdays. Number eight, choose the frequency when Sandra has music on Wednesday at 10:15. What is the correct answer?
Once a week.
Once a week. Number nine, the correct frequency. She has PE, physical exercise, no, physical education, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
3 times a week.
3 times a week. Number 10, the correct frequency. She has history on Monday and Friday. What is the correct answer?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. And finally, number 11, she has math Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So she has math
Every day.
every
Every
day.
day.
She has English on Tuesday and Thursday,
Twice a week.
twice a week. Number 13, how often does the sun rise? Sunrise
Every
means when the sun goes down, no, when the sun goes up in the morning. Sunrise means amanecer. So
every
how
day.
every day. Thank you. Every day we have the sun. Yes, that's for free. Yes, gratuito. So this is a quiz. Maybe we are going to do this activity again with more questions, okay? So this is to review time expressions because we are in unit number 5 and we are talking about free time. Free time activities as the activities we have learned here. For example, watch TV, go to the movies, play video games, and so on, listen to music. Remember, how often refers to frequency. So this is because we need information about how many times a person do does an activity. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. For example, if I ask you, how often do we, Carolina, Fatima, Francisco, and Bernardo, how often do we have English class? How often?
On Saturday,
Okay.
Once a
On
week.
Saturday is a good answer. Once a week is a good answer too. Very good. How often? You see, Carolina, how often refers to frequency. There is another question similar. When do we have classes? When refers to a specific day, month, or hour sometimes. So, when do we have classes? On Saturday. How often do we have classes? Once a week. Okay, don't forget that. Yes, and these are another outbursts of frequency that we are going to see today. These also help us to answer the question how often. How often do we do an activity? And we use always when the activity happens 100% of the time, usually 90%, normally or generally 80%. It goes down often, seguido, frequently, sometimes 50% of the time, occasionally, seldom, hardly ever, or rarely. This means the same and never. Okay, these are adverbs of frequency. But let's go back to the book. We are going to continue with unit number 5. In this unit, we are learning about uh, how to talk about our free time activities. And we are going to review simple present information questions. Do you remember the information questions? We have seen like 5 different questions. WH questions. Do you remember those questions? Let me show you the book right here. This is where we are, page 44, lesson A, free time. We review this survey, remember? Let me ask you, ladies, what about these questions? This activity says put in order the questions, the words to make questions. What is the correct question for number 1? You do when go out. I go out on the weekends. What is
When do you go out?
exactly? Very good. Fatima, can you fix number 2? Who you do go out with?
Who do you go out? Disculpa, ¿qué me preguntó?
Don't worry, it's okay. Who do you go out with? I go out with Carolina. Number 3. What is the correct sequence for question number 3?
what do you do in your prime time?
Free time, very good. And number 4, Carolina?
Um, how often
Mm-hmm.
uh, do no? What often does your
Does
family eat out together?
exactly, very good. How often does your family? These are questions. Take a look at the questions. Here we have when. This is one information question. Who is another question. What is a different question too, and how often so. As you can see, these are information questions or WH question, how. Well, in this case, we have the combination with how often. So these four words are helping us to make questions, to get information. We are going to review that. For example, here it says grammar, simple present information questions. First, we have what. Please remember that what help us to ask about general information. In this case, what do you do in your free time? Do you remember the first questions that we learned using what about personal information questions? Do you remember, Carolina, Fatima? How do you ask for a person's name?
What's what's your name?
What's your name? About the telephone number?
What is your phone
What is your telephone number or phone number? About email?
number? What is your email?
Exact email address, and so on. What is for well, general information. What is your last name? What is your father's name? What is your middle name, and so on. So what is asking about general information. Now we have another one. Who? Do you remember what those who ask for? Who is asking for what?
¿Quién es una persona?
Exactly. So who ask for people? For example, who is he? Robert Acosta. Who is she? Well, her friend, his friend. Who are you, Carolina? Pues Carolina. Who is she? She is Fatima. Who ask about people? Uh, these are information questions. What for general information? Who is asking about people? Now we have here when. When. When is a different questions is a different question, and now the when is helping us to ask about the time, general time, not the specific hour, but general hours of the day, for example, or maybe weeks or months. Yes, Carolina, any questions?
No, teacher.
Okay, when does she go out? On the weekends. So when is asking us about time, different times. So we can use these expressions or more expressions in the morning. For example, Carolina, when do you get up? When do you get up, Carolina?
Get up, get up.
Wake up when you are sleeping. Get up. When do you get up?
Oh, um, 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock. For example, when do you eat breakfast, Fatima? When do you eat breakfast?
8 o'clock
Okay. Or in the morning.
in the
That's
morning.
because you eat breakfast. Eat breakfast, desayunar. So when do you eat dinner, Carolina? In the
Oh,
morning, in the afternoon, at night?
nine.
At night. When is asking about time, general time expression. Now, here is the big question. How often in combination, how often, how is a word, ask about characteristics. Often in combination with how is asking about frequency. In this case, we have a question: how often does she eat out? Ah, we use these time expressions. Twice a month, maybe every day, maybe on Friday nights, maybe 3 times a week. I don't know, depending on the frequency. For example, Fatima, how often do you eat pizza? Do you eat pizza, Carolina?
Um,
Yes. Do you eat pizza?
one
Okay.
year, one
Once,
year,
once a year. Okay. Maybe once a year. You, Fatima, how often do you eat pizza, Fatima?
Once a month.
Once a month. Okay. What about pozole?
Uh, once or twice a week.
Twice a week? Wow. And what about you, Carolina? Do you eat pozole?
twice a year.
Twice a year? Oh, no, you don't like pozole. Okay, what about ceviche?
Yes.
Um,
Uh, I don't like the
You don't
beaches.
like ceviche. Okay, what about you, Carolina? Do you eat ceviche?
twice a month.
Twice a month. Okay. Now, the big question: how often do you go to the beach in Acapulco? Very rarely, yeah, because we are in Acapulco and we don't go to the beach, right?
Um,
Or do you go to the beach? How
twice
once,
a month.
twice a month? Okay. What about you, Fatima? Do you go to the beach? How often do you go to the beach?
Mm, once a year.
Once a year, okay. Chilangos are always asking or saying, oh, you live in Acapulco. You are at the beach every day. But no, it's not true. It's not true because they think because we live in Acapulco that we are on in the beach at the beach all the time, and it's not true. It's incorrect. We go to the beach once every 6 months or once a year, you see? But how often is asking about the frequency? And here another question: where? Where is asking about places? For example, where where is Cinépolis in Acapulco? Where is Cinépolis?
Um,
At
one
uh, no, where is asking about places? Where can you find Cinépolis? Where is Cinépolis? Ah, at Galerías Acapulco. Ah, there is Cinépolis. One more question. Where is Beep's restaurant?
in Galería,
In
Acapulco.
Galerías Acapulco. Yes, where is asking about places. Where is Princess Acapulco Hotel?
Um, this
Ah,
Uh-huh.
en Punta de Diamante.
In Acapulco Diamante, yes, or is at Revolcaderos Beach. Different, but where is asking about places. Where is the Statue of Liberty?
Teacher, una
Yes,
pregunta.
yes, yes, Fatima.
When significa cuando.
You can you can translate when for cuando. Yes.
Oye, ¿cómo diría la pregunta que está ahí?
When does she go out?
Ajá.
Cuando sale ella a comer.
Ok.
¿Dónde?
¿Y where es dónde?
Where is for places, right?
Ok.
So here we have yes, different words. What? General information. What is your name? What is your occupation? What is your last name? Who is asking about people? Who? is our president, AMLO? Who is she? She's my friend. Who is he? Who do you go out with? With a friend, with my family. People. Who ask about people. When is asking about the time, but general expression. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and so on. How often ask for frequencies. The occasions you do an activity. And finally, where is asking about places. So remember, what? General information. Who? People. When? The time. How often? Ask about frequencies. And where? Ask about places, different places. So help me, guys. Here we have some questions. Uh, we have from 1 to 4. Well, number 1 is done. Let's do number 5 together. We need to check the answer to see what kind of question we need to use here. For example, let's check number 1. I eat out once a week. I eat out once a week. Really? The answer, I go to a restaurant near my house. That's why we have where do you go? Where do you go? Question number 5. It says, my parents go out about once a month. We need to create a question here. The answer for this question is, well, they go to a club. This is a place. They go to a club or they eat out. So, what is the question for this number 5 missing here? What is the question? Can
Where?
where? Where? Very good, Fatima. Where we are asking about my parents. Where
Do
do
they
they? Excellent.
go?
Where do they go? Exactly. Why are we using where? Because this is a place. Okay. Now, help me with number 2. I go to the movies on Friday nights. Yeah, we need a question. The answer, I go with some friends from work. What is the answer here? Or
Who?
what is the question?
Who
Who
do you
do you
out with?
who do who do you go out with? Very good. Very good, Fatima. Who do you go out with? Number 6. Let's do number 6. And then we are going to continue. Please, you need to fill out the next ones. It says, I have a lot of free time before class. Really? Oh, I go to a cafe and read.
What
What
what do you
do you
do before class?
what do you do before class? Very good, Fatima. What do you do before class? Excellent. Okay, so the next ones you need to do it. Let's go. Okay, question. Have you used the platform? ¿Ya han usado la plataforma? Yes or no?
No, teacher.
No?
Teacher,
Pregunté, ah,
Okay,
pre-
Fátima.
pregunté y y me dijeron que aún no estaba habilitada.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay. The same for you, Carolina.
Yo entré a la plataforma Teacher, pero abre otras páginas, o sea, me abre toda la página de Cambridge, pero no me abre,
Really?
no sé cómo llegar así como usted
Okay.
a esto.
So you don't see this, no ves esto.
No, yo no veo eso, veo toda la plataforma.
Okay. Let me go to the
Y
platform
hay
here.
muchísima información, pero no aparecen los libros.
Nothing, de esto nada, no se ve nada. Okay. Let me see. Me voy a desfirmar para hacer una
¿Cómo,
prueba.
usted cómo entra? Porque yo
Let's continue with, can you see my screen? No, let me share my screen right here. Now, can you see my screen now? ¿Pueden ver mi pantalla?
yes, teacher.
Very good. Let's continue with this. Uh, these are vocabulary expressions. Remember that we learn twice a month, every month, 3 times a week, once a week, and we answer this. For example, what is the answer for number one? Everything is red
The month,
every night because we do an activity every night. What about this? Number two, only Friday. So
Once a week.
could be once a week or
Friday.
on Fridays. Here is only one day of the week, different days. This is
Once a
once a week.
week.
What about this? We have one, two, three occasions every week,
3 times a week.
3 times a week. And finally, well, the last one is only, well, we have two occasions in the month, so it's once a month, twice a month. So we check the answers and it's correct. And then we did this activity with difference, with a chart locating the expressions that go together. For example, on the weekends, what other word goes with on in combination? Using on, we have on the weekends. Can we use on month, on weeknights, on night, on week, on weekend, on a month, on a day, on Friday nights, on weekends? What are the correct words for on?
On the month,
On a month? No.
on month, no?
On Friday nights. Let's check. Oh, yes, correct. Excuse me?
Weekends.
On weekends. Yes, on weekends. What about every? Every?
Every,
Day.
Every day?
Night.
every
Every
night,
night? Yes, Carolina?
every weekend,
Every weekend. Very good. Every?
every
Weeknights.
Every weeknights. Okay, let's check. Oh, weeknights is incorrect. No, 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 no. Every?
every a month,
Every month, every month. Let's check. Oh, yes, every month. Weeknights on weeknights or once weeknights, twice, 3 times weeknights.
Teacher, la diferencia entre month y a month,
Mhm.
¿cuál sería?
Here, for example, every, cada mes, every month. A month, al mes. It's like
Okay.
translating in Spanish.
Okay.
So, what about this space? What words can go here?
a month,
Weeknights.
Weeknights? I don't think so. Once a week,
A month.
once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Weeknights goes here on weeknights. Okay, remember these are time expressions that you can use to talk about frequencies of your activities. What about this one? I go to the gym. What is the correct expression for this one?
Once a week.
Exactly, once a week. Number two, Carolina. I meet my friends.
Once Christmas.
Mm-mm.
Every
Could be every. Yes, I don't think every Friday nights is correct. Let's check. No, that could you can use that you, but the correct one is on Friday nights. Okay, because it's one occasion during the week, and on is an expression that help us to use different words like on Fridays, on Wednesdays. It's used with a day of the week. Always you use on with days of the week. Number three, Fatima. Number three, my friend eats out
Every day.
every is when you do the activity all the time, every day. Here, Carolina, it's only one day of the month. So my parents go
one
to the movies
a month.
about once
A month.
a month. That is correct. And finally, here, twice
A week.
a week. Twice a week. Check answers. That is correct. Very good. So let's continue because this is a very easy review. Let's move on. Okay. This is the free time survey. No, we have time. My computer is a little slow. We did this activity. It's a survey. So for the activities that you do or not do during the week or the month, we covered that. This is the survey that we did last class. And finally, using the audio and the script, we answered these questions. Remember where is the survey from? Do you remember? Acosta, Rebecca's magazine, or student?
Rebecca's magazine.
Exactly. What about what is Robert's last name?
Acosta.
Acosta. And what is Robert's occupation?
Students.
A student, yes. Very good. And then we have more questions about the survey. In this case, how often do you go out? Twice a week. This is from Robert. When do you usually go out? And so on. More questions. These are questions that Robert answered with the survey. Now here, let's continue. Well, this is a game. It says, I think we played this game. Did we play this game? ¿Jugamos este jueguito?
Yes.
Yes.
Sí, yeah, I remember that, yes. Spell it or slime it. Okay, it was difficult. Here, it says information questions. It says figure it out. You need to guess what is the correct order, just like in the exercise we did. Unscramble the questions. For example, what is the correct order of words? Do, when, go out, you.
When do you go out?
When exactly do you go out? Number two, Carolina,
Who who do you going with?
who do you go out with? Number three, Fatima,
What do you do in your free time?
what do you do in your free time? Very good. Carolina,
How often does
exactly.
your family eat well, eat
Eat
together?
out together. Very good. And finally, Fatima,
Where do you go usually?
where do you
You usually go.
exactly? Where do you usually? Usually, uh, as other adverbs of time, of frequency, they go before the verb. Okay. Thank you. Very good exercise, okay, ladies. Let's check the next activity. Figure it out. So you have to guess again the questions. For example, which question word do you use? Here are the information questions or question words. We have who ask about what. ¿De qué pregunta who?
¿Quién?
People. Ask about people. How often?
Frecuente.
Frequency.
Frequency. Sorry, Fatima?
Frequency.
Frequency. Number. Where? Ask about.
Mm, play.
Yes, places.
Mhm.
When? Ask about what?
Time.
Time. And what? General
General
information.
information.
So, okay, here is the activity. To ask about a place, which word?
Where?
Where? To ask about time,
What? When?
when? To ask about people,
Who?
Who?
exactly. To ask for information,
What?
what? And to ask the number of times.
How often?
How often? Let's check the answer. Very good. So these are important questions. Where, when, who, what, and how often. These are the questions we use to ask about different information we need. General information, time, frequency, people, or general information. So here is the grammar. Let's remember the grammar about information questions. Can you hear?
Grammar. Simple present.
¿Pueden escuchar?
Information questions.
¿Sí se escucha?
An information question starts with a question word. Question words are
What?
General information,
who,
people,
Where?
places,
how often,
frequency,
When?
time.
information questions with you are a question word
What?
plus do
What do?
plus subject, you,
What do you?
plus a verb,
What do you do?
plus the rest of the question.
In your free time.
No se escucha, teacher.
Teacher, no se escucha.
Sorry. Repeat after me. What do you do in your free time?
What do you do in your free time?
What do you do in your free time?
Very good. Now, please notice that here this do is an auxiliary verb. It's not the action. The action is do. So, what do you do? ¿Qué es lo que haces? Here, this is the verb in action. What do you do in action? This is only an auxiliary to help us to create a question. When we use you, when we use we, or they, or I. What do I do? What do you do? What do we do? What do they do? Okay. This is for something that we do. What about if you go to one place to another, or maybe a game? You don't say what do you do, you say what do you play in your free time. So here is the action. What do you play in your free time? So this right here, the verb can change. This one here stays the same. Okay. uh, did you understand what I said, Fatima, Carolina? Here the do is only an auxiliary. The important verb, the action is right here, after the subject. It's okay?
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
teacher.
very good. Let's go on because this is for you and we need a third person. He
What do you do in your free time?
or she, or it.
Information questions with they.
They, you see, you and they.
Where do they go on Saturday nights?
Ah, here is the activity. Where do they go? Go on Saturday night.
Information questions with he and she.
And as you can see, when we create a question for he or she, we don't use do. No, we use does. Okay, let's continue with the explanation.
How often does he eat out?
When does she go out?
Remember, use do with you, we, and they.
What do you do on the weekends?
What do we do on the weekends?
What do they do on the weekends?
Do goes with you, we, and they.
Remember,
For third person,
use does with he and she.
only with he and she.
Where does he go on Saturday nights?
Does he?
Where does she go on Saturday
Does
nights?
she? Or the name of the person. For example, we can ask, what does Fatima study on Saturdays? What does Fatima study on Saturdays? What do you study, Fatima? Or Carolina? What does Carolina study on Saturday? ¿Qué es lo que estudia Carolina los sábados?
English.
English class.
English class. So you can replace he or she with the name. Okay, let's see the next explanation. Just a review or summary. Let's see.
Grammar. Information questions with nouns and names. Some subjects are nouns or names. Where does your brother go
Here, your brother is the subject.
On Saturday nights?
Where does David go on Saturday nights?
We change your brother for David. Or we can use also the pronoun he. Where does he go? Where does David go? Or where does your brother go? Okay, so we can use different words for the subject.
Your brother and David are like he.
Where does your sister go on Saturday nights?
Where does Katie go on Saturday nights?
What pronoun can we use instead of your sister? She or Katie.
Your sister and Katie are like she. Some subjects are plural nouns or names.
When do your friends go out?
When do Anne and Katie go out?
Teacher, no se escucha.
Okay, sorry. What pronoun can we use instead of your friends or Anne and Katie? What pronoun we can use?
Your
Hey.
friends and Anne and Katie are like they.
Okay. Any questions up to here? Any questions? Fatima, Carolina?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Okay. Now, first, can you remember the rules for the simple present information questions? It says, number one, simple present information questions starts with what? A question word, do or does, or a verb.
Question word.
A question word. Number two, this is an example of simple present information question with you is what do you do? What do you do? What do you or do you what? What is the correct one?
What do you do?
What do you do? Very good. And finally, number three, this is a simple present information question with your brother. How often?
How often does your brother eat out?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, very good. And let's check the next one. Let's see what do we have here. This is just the review.
Simple present. Information questions. Some subjects are pronouns. Some subjects are nouns or
You
names.
can use subjects, nouns, or
Listen
name.
and repeat.
For example, here, listen and repeat. Let's just check the example and repeat.
What do you do in your free time?
What do you do in your
What do you do in your free time?
Meet my friends.
Meet my friends.
Very good. These are the same questions that we have here. What do you, who do you go out with? Let's listen for this. Who do you go out with? No, we don't have that here. What these are the same questions. Repeat after me. Who do you go out with?
who do you go?
Who do you go out with?
A friend.
A friend.
Very good. So we can practice this here one more time.
Where do they go on Saturday nights?
Where
Where
do they go on Saturday night?
To the movies.
do you
To the
live?
To
movies.
the movies. Very good. Let's continue. Here, let's try to solve this exercise. It says there is a common error. It says choose the best information question to complete the questions. For example, I eat once a week. Really? Where did you go? I go to a restaurant. This exercise is the one we have here. For example, let's check number two. I go to the movies. I go to the movies on Friday nights. Yeah? What is the correct question?
How often do you go?
Check the
No,
answer, Fatima.
no, yeah.
So the correct one is,
Who do you go with?
who do you go with? Exactly. So these questions are the same we have here. Let's check with the next one. This is for Carolina. My best friend texts me a lot. The answer,
Often.
20 times a day.
How often does he text you?
Very good. Fatima, my friend goes to the gym every day. Fatima?
Uh, uh, where? No, when does she go?
Exactly. Carolina, my parents go about go out about once a month. They go to a club.
Where do they go?
Exactly. Number six, Fatima. I have a lot of free time before class. Really? I go to a cafe and read.
What do you do?
Number seven, Carolina. My sister plays sport twice a week. Really?
How often?
Check the answer. Soccer and tennis.
Where does she play?
Exactly. Check the answer. Fatima, I go out on Thursday night.
Who do you go out with?
Exactly, because it says my sister. We go to our favorite cafe. Very good. This is practice, so please try to practice that the same activity in your workbook. Now here, look at the questions. Then rewrite the chart. We are going to skip this and we are going to continue because we saw this last class. We're going to continue with the next topic, which is simple present. If this is a game, we didn't play this game. No jugamos este juego, ¿verdad?
No, no lo
Ah,
jugamos.
vamos a ver qué dice. What is the correct order?
How often do you eat out?
Okay. Okay. Now, Carolina.
Uh, do you go to the movies?
Very good. Now, Fatima.
When when
Mhm.
when do you go out?
We need to fill this. Acaba el tiempo. The candle is running out. Fatima, now is your turn.
Oh. What do you um what do you do in your free time?
Carolina.
What where do you go?
Very good. And this is for Fatima. The candle is running out.
Who do you go out with?
Exactly. Let's see. Did we finish? We opened the treasure. Congratulations. Okay. Very good. Let's move on. Let's continue. Now let's go with the speaking naturally. In this part, speaking naturally is helping us to speak like normally. Sometimes we put together words and they sound, well, maybe a little bit less strong. Suenan un poquito menos fuerte. For example, do you, we say do you, where do you, what do you. Now listen to the example here. Do you?
Speaking naturally. Do you listen? People write,
Do you go out a lot?
people say,
Do you go out a lot?
Did you notice the difference? When we write, do you go out a lot? But speaking, sometimes you listen like this. Do you, do you, maybe the you is removed. You go out loud. Check the example.
Do you go out a lot?
They go together.
Notice how the words do and you sound like one word. Listen.
Do you go out a lot?
People write,
Where do you go?
Where do you go again? So we put together do you.
people say,
Where do you go?
listen.
Where do you go?
People write,
What do you do?
people say,
What do you do?
listen.
What do you do?
When you are practicing your speaking, it will sound more natural. With it's okay if you sound. Do you go out a lot, or in this case, do you go out a lot? You go out a lot. Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? What do you do? What do you do? So it sounds more natural like that, but is correct. Both ways are correct. Let's check more about this way to express the
Speaking
question.
naturally. Do you? People write,
Do you go out a lot?
people say,
Do you go out a lot?
people write,
Where do you go?
people say,
Where do you go?
people write,
What do you do?
people say,
What do you do?
listen and repeat.
Now here, let's try to listen and repeat.
Do you go out a lot?
Where do you go? What do you do?
Okay, listen and repeat, please.
Do you go out a lot?
Do you go out a lot?
That's okay.
Do you go out a lot?
Check how do is missing.
Do you go out a
Do you
lot?
go out a lot?
Do
Do you go out a lot?
You got a lot.
Do you go out a lot?
The do is not even sounds.
Do you go out a lot?
You got a lot. Number two,
Where do you go?
like the do changes for maybe an I. Where do you to go? Where do you go? Where do you go?
Where do you go?
Where do
Where do you go? Where do you go?
Where do you go?
where do you go? Where do you
Exactly. For a you maybe. Where do you go? Where do you
where do
Where do you
you
go?
go?
The
Where-
do is doesn't sound, but it's correct. If you say where do you go, it's correct. You can say where do you go or where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? What do you do? What do you do? Listen again.
Where do you go? Where do you go? What do you do? What do you do?
But it's a matter of practice. Okay? Just listen again and repeat. Ready? Here goes.
Do you go out a lot?
Do you go out a lot?
Where do you go?
Where do you go?
What do you do?
What do you
What do you do? Don't worry. What do you do? So here we need to complete the questions here.
Do you relax in your free time?
What is the
Well, yes, on the weekends.
What do you do?
I sleep late, read, watch TV.
Now we have listened to the conversation. Let's listen again.
Do you relax in your free time?
Well, yes, on the weekends.
What do you do?
I sleep late, read, watch TV.
So the question is, what do you do in your free time? Oh, no, it's not correct. What do you relax?
Do you?
Do you relax in your free time? Well, yes, on the weekends. What?
Do you go?
What do you do?
Do.
Do you relax in your free time?
Well, yes, on the weekends.
What do you do?
I sleep late, read, watch TV.
Okay, now for this part, what is the correct question? To the movies? Yes, I do. I like movies a lot. What is the question? Can you figure it out? Can you guess the question?
Do you go?
Do you go? Okay, could be. Do you go to the movies? Yes, I do. I like the movies a lot. How often
Do you
do you
go?
how often do you go? Let's listen.
Do you go to the movies?
Yes, I do. I like movies a lot.
How often do you go?
2 or 3 times a month.
Ah, very good. Let's check the answers. Yes. Listen and repeat with me. Do you go to the movies?
Do you go to the movie?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
I
Yes,
like
I do.
movies a lot.
I like movies a lot.
How often do you go?
How often do you go?
2 or 3 times a month.
2 or 3 times a month.
Okay, very good. So, Carolina, do you go to the movies?
Yes.
Really? Fatima, do you go to the movies?
Yes, I do.
How often do you go to the movies, Fatima?
Once a month.
Once a month? What about you, Carolina? How often do you go to the movies?
Twice a month.
Twice a month, okay. Here in this specific practice, you record yourself by speaking, clicking on the arrow to hear the question like this.
Do you go out a lot?
Do you go? So you repeat the question by recording yourself. Listen. Do you go out a lot? You click on that. And after you record yourself, you can play it back.
Do you go out a lot?
Do you go up?
Do you go out a lot? That's my voice. So when you use the platform, you can record yourself, okay, in this practice. Listen again, this is my voice because I recorded it.
Do you go out a lot?
Example.
Do you go?
Where is my voice?
Do you go out a lot?
Oh, I need to record it again. Do you go out a lot? Listen again.
Do you go out a lot?
Did you go out a lot? That's my voice. Very bad. So these are tools you can use to practice. You listen, click in here, you record your voice, and then you hear your voice, okay? Yes, Carolina, Fatima?
Yes.
Is it clear? This is for you to practice. Very good. Now, in this part, you need to write a blog. Well, you don't have the access, but we are going to do this later when you have the access. Let's go to lesson B. lesson B and check the aims because we are going forward. Now we are going to review some vocabulary words about TV shows and discuss or talk about TV shows. Here we have some vocabulary words about different programs on the TV. Uh, in the book, we have this conversation here, TV shows. We are going to listen and what are they doing? Where do you think they are? ¿Dónde creen que están?
The restaurant.
Maybe. What is this right here behind them? What's this?
TV.
A TV. He is eating his soup. What is she doing?
She.
What is she doing? She is she's watching the TV.
TV.
Okay, ladies, do you eat in front of the TV watching television?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but do you speak with your family when you eat?
Yes.
Or watch TV?
Sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes watch TV and talk family.
Okay.
And eat and eat.
Okay. Okay. It says true or false. The man thinks dinner with the woman is fun. True or false? Is he having fun?
False.
True, false. The woman likes TV.
Yes.
True. The man and woman talk a lot during dinner.
False.
False. Check the answer. Okay, you were right. Let's check the activity. We are moving on. Now here we are going to see the conversation and then we are going to answer these questions, okay? Listen and hear the conversation. Can you hear the conversation? Yes? Can you see the movie here, the film? ¿Lo pueden ver?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let's...
Yes, teacher.
This soup is delicious. What's in it? Amy. Amy?
I'm sorry, what?
You know, sometimes I think you watch too much TV.
Oh, I hardly ever watch TV.
Are you serious?
Well, sometimes I watch the morning shows, and I usually watch the late movie.
And you always have dinner in front of the TV? I mean, you never talk to me.
Yes, I do. I talk to you during the commercials.
One more time.
This soup is delicious. What's in it? Amy. Amy?
I'm sorry, what?
You know, sometimes I think you watch too much TV.
Oh, I hardly ever watch TV.
Are you serious?
Well, sometimes I watch the morning shows, and I usually watch the late movie.
And you always have dinner in front of the TV? I mean, you never talk to me.
Yes, I do. I talk to you during the commercials.
Okay, question number one. Where are Amy and Paul? At work, at home, at school?
At home.
At home.
What does Paul think about Amy? She talks too much. She eats too much. She watches too much TV.
She
She
watches
watches too much TV.
Very good. And finally, what does Amy think about her TV routine? It's okay, bad, She thinks she talks too much during commercials.
She talked to the most during commerce.
You think so? Okay, let's see. If Fatima, do you agree with Carolina? Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay. And no, she thinks her TV routine is okay. She has no problems with her TV routine. Maybe people like to do this, like this lady
This
here.
soup is delicious.
She see
What's in it?
what's in it. He's asking about
Amy.
the soup, and Amy is
I'm
watching.
sorry, what?
You know, sometimes I think you watch too much TV.
Oh, you watch too much TV, and oh, sorry.
Sometimes I think you watch.
Well,
Are you serious?
sometimes I watch the morning shows.
Okay, so Paul asked Amy about what? A movie, her favorite TV show, or the soup?
The soup.
The soup. Amy watches TV
In the morning.
in the morning, yes. Amy watches serious movie, late movie, the morning movie. Listen.
And I usually watch the late movie.
Ah,
Late movie.
the late means tarde. So sometimes in the television you have movies very late at night. Number 4. Paul says Amy always has dinner, studies, relaxes. Carolina? In front of the TV.
Dinner.
Has dinner. And finally, Amy talks to Paul
And you always have dinner in front of the TV? I mean, you never talk to me.
Yes, I do. I talk to you during the commercials.
Okay, the answer is?
During the commercial.
During commercials, yes. Are you like Amy? ¿Son ustedes como Amy? Watching TV and talking during the commercials? No?
No.
Okay, that's good. Now, this part is also practicing your speaking. You need to choose a role. Maybe you're Amy, you're Paul, you're recording your audio, your video, and then you practice the conversation by recording yourself. For example, here, I'm going to record my part. This soup is delicious. What's in it? Amy? Amy? This soup is delicious. What's in it? Amy? Amy? And then you hear the continue of the conversation.
I'm sorry, what?
And when you have a red dot, you record yourself, okay? So this is for practice. Now let's move on. We are going to see about these frequency adverbs. These words always, usually, are going to help us to talk about also the frequency that we do an activity. Please repeat after me. Always.
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 I always study after class.
I always
study after class.
Usually.
Usually.
Usually. I usually walk to work.
I
usually walk to work.
Normally. Generally. I normally get good marks.
I normally get good marks.
Generally.
Generally.
I generally get good marks.
I generally get
Generally get good marks.
Often.
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 I often read in bed at night.
Often.
I often read in bed at night.
Frequently.
Frequently.
I frequently read in bed at night.
I
I frequently read in bed at night.
Sometimes.
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 I sometimes sing in the shower.
I sometimes sing in the shower.
Occasionally.
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 I occasionally go to bed late.
Occasionally go to the bed late.
Go to bed late. You see, the N and the A doesn't sound. We don't say occasionally. No, occasionally.
Occasionally.
Like, yes, we just like remove this. Occasionally. Occasionally. Repeat after me. Occasionally.
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 I occasionally go to the bed.
I I occasionally
Go to
I
bed late.
go to the
Okay, one more time. I occasionally go to bed late.
I
I occasionally go to bed late.
Seldom.
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 These are different words to talk about frequency. Seldom happens 10% of the time. You see, always 100%, 90% usually, 80% normally, generally, 70% of the time, often or frequently, sometimes in the middle, not all the time, occasionally only 30% of the time, and here seldom is a word that is not used very often. So seldom means only 10% of it. Repeat after me, seldom.
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 I seldom put salt on my food.
I seldom put salt on my food.
I seldom put salt on my food.
Very good. Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever in Spanish, muy rara la vez. Rarely, muy rara la vez. I hardly ever get angry.
I hardly ever get angry.
I rarely get angry.
I rarely, I really every day.
Okay. And never, never happens 0% of the time. For example, say never with me, never. Repeat after me, never.
Never.
Vegetarians never eat meat.
Vegetarians never eat meat.
Right. And here you can use here the model as the order of words. You see, you use subject, Daniel. After the subject, the adverb goes always, and then the main verb, the activity, goes here. This is the correct order. Subject, adverb of frequency, and then the verb. So the adverb of frequency goes before the verb. Usually is before go. Normally is before get. Often read. So you place the adverb of frequency before the verb. So you see adverb of frequency and then the action. This is the correct order, okay? Or you can use the frequency adverb after the verb be. Is always, or is often, is usually, is sometimes, is seldom, is never. You can use the frequency adverb after the verb be. That's let's go to the book and check what do you have in your book. Uh, goes here. Frequency adverbs. So we have kind of the same as in this presentation. We have always, usually. The book does not have generally or normally, but often or frequency is there. Often, sometimes, hardly ever, never. This is the order, remember? First, the subject, right here. Subject, then frequency adverb, and then the verb. This is it. The only frequency adverb that can go before the subject is sometimes. You see, in conversation, it's more common for people to say sometimes I is the only one. Frequency adverb, and then the subject. Sometimes is the only frequency adverb that you can use before the subject. It's more common, you see? Sometimes I is more common that I sometimes. Both, did you have it? Did you understand what I said? These are frequency adverbs. They help us to tell also frequency of activity. For example, here, you need to add a frequency adverb to make true sentences about yourself and then compare them with your partner. For example, number one is an example here. I do my homework in front of the TV. In my case, well, in the example, it says, I never do my homework in front of the TV. Now you help me with number two. What is the correct frequency adverb for you ladies? In this case, I watch TV in the morning. In my case, I say this. I usually watch TV in the morning. So this is for me. I usually watch TV in the morning. What about you, Carolina? Watch TV in the morning.
Never, I never
You never watch TV?
in the morning.
Okay, what about you, Fatima? Or watch TV?
Um, I usually watch TV in the night,
No, no, you sing in the morning.
in the morning.
So, and you don't say in the night, you say at night.
Night. I usually watch TV in the morning.
You usually, okay. What about 3, 4, and 5? Okay, I want you, Carolina and Fatima, to practice by using these three sentences. 3, 4, and 5. Please, you write the frequency adverb that is correct for you for sentence number 3, number 4, number 5. Only these three sentences. Okay? Please, I'm going to give you 1 minute for you to uh, add the frequency adverb that is true for you. for sentence number 3, number 4. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Did you understand? You need to use a frequency adverb for these 3 sentences. Ready?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Please, Carolina, Fatima, I'm going to
Yeah.
give you 1 minute. It's very easy. You tell me when you finished. Finished? Finish, Carolina?
No, teacher.
No, okay, don't worry, don't worry. Fatima,
No, teacher.
don't worry, don't worry. Continue. I'm checking some activities here. Only sentences 3, 4, and 5. Solo 3, 4 y 5, ¿eh?
Okay.
3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay. Are you ready, Carolina?
Ready, teacher.
Okay, excellent. Now I want you to compare yourself. For example, number 3, Fatima. What is your sentence? My family has dinner in front of the TV.
My family often has dinner in front of TV.
Oh, very good. Often. What about you, Carolina?
Um,
For number 3.
okay. My family has often in front of the TV.
My family.
My family has often in front of the TV.
Okay, remember that the frequency adverb goes before the verb. So, okay, dinner is not the verb. The verb here is has.
Okay, entonces sería my family often.
Exactly. My family often has dinner in front of TV. Number 4, Carolina.
My best friend some,
Frequency after, my best friend.
sometimes
Sometimes.
watches sport on TV.
Very good. You see, sometimes watches. What about you, Fatima? Number 4.
My family,
Number 4.
my best friend never watches TV. sport on TV.
Okay, never. I believe your friend is a girl, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about number 5 for you, Fatima? My family.
My family usually watches
Watches?
movie on Friday night.
Very good.
Había
Movies.
dicho que se le agregaba ES a my family porque es una familia, ¿no?
Exactly. My family is only one family. That's why it says watches.
Okay.
And
Thank
what about you? Welcome. What about you, Carolina, for number 5? My family.
My family usually watches movies in the Friday night.
On Friday nights. Very good, Carolina. Excellent job, Carolina and Fatima. Let's go back to the book right here. Let's go back to the platform. It says TV shows. Figure it out. What is the correct one for here for Amy and Paul? Amy, I watch TV. Hardly ever, never, sometimes, usually, or always. Remember the video? What is the correct answer for Amy?
I usually always.
Okay, let's see if that is correct. No, it's incorrect.
No.
Amy says, I hardly ever watch TV. Well, exactly. Well, sometimes I watch the morning shows. Amy says, number 2, I
Usually,
usually,
you
you,
never
mm,
or you always.
you always, you never talk to me. And she says, yes, I do. I talk to you during the commercials. Te hablo en los comerciales. Qué linda. Muy linda ella. Okay. Now, in this practice, it says, how often do people do these things? Select words in each conversation that tell how often. Use Amy and Paul's conversation to help you. So we need to select the words that tell how often an activity is done. What are the words? For example, sometimes is a word is correct. Let's check. Yes. What is the word for sentence number 2? Select the words in each conversation that tell how often. The frequency adverbs.
Usually.
Usually. Number 3, Carolina?
Always.
Always. What about number 4, Fatima?
Never.
Never. Number 5, Carolina?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. And number 6?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Let's check the answers. Yes. Remember, sometimes, usually, always, never, hardly ever, and sometimes again are frequency adverbs. They tell us how often an activity is done. Okay? For now again, how often do you eat pozole, Fatima? Using frequency adverbs.
Occasionally.
I occasionally. Occasionally.
Occasionally go
Eat.
Eat pozole.
Exactly. What about you, Carolina? How often do you eat pozole?
I hardly ever eat pozole.
I hardly ever eat pozole. Okay. What about pizza, Fatima? How often do you eat pizza?
I often eat pizza.
What about you, Carolina? How often do you eat pizza?
I seldom eat pizza.
What about going to the beach? How often do you go to the beach, Carolina?
I occasionally go to the beach.
Occasionally. What about you, Fatima?
I I hardly ever beach
Go to the beach.
go to the beach.
Okay. You are from Acapulco and you don't go to the beach. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Those are frequency adverbs. Let's review that. Let's more practice with frequency adverbs. Now, here is the explanation. Just to review what we have learned, okay?
Grammar. Frequency adverbs. Always, usually, often, sometimes, hardly ever, and never are frequency adverbs. Use frequency adverbs to talk about how often you do something. Always means 100% of the time.
I always eat in front of the TV.
This means I eat in front of the TV all the time, every day. Usually means 90% of the time.
I usually eat in front of the TV.
This means I eat in front of the TV a lot, 6 days a week. Often means 60% of the time.
I often eat in front of the TV.
This means I eat in front of the TV a lot, 5 days a week.
Often.
Sometimes means 30% of the time.
I sometimes eat in front of the TV.
This means I eat in front of the TV 2 or 3 days a week. Hardly ever means 5% of the time.
I hardly ever eat in front of the TV.
This means I don't eat in front of the TV a lot, maybe twice a year. Never means 0% of the time.
Zero, never.
I never eat in front of the TV.
This means I don't eat in front of the TV.
Okay, this is the grammar. And the practice that we are going to do here, I'm going to give you control to you, Fatima. Please select the correct for 90%. Hardly ever, never, usually, often, sometimes. Okay, now this is for Carolina. Oops, sorry, my mistake. Now, Carolina, I'm going to give you control. Please select the one for 60%. Use my cursor, right? Exactly. Oops. Exactly. Very good. Now it's turn for Fatima. Okay, Fatima.
Okay.
You have Fatima. You can use my mouse now.
Okay.
30%. That is correct. Now it's my turn because the others are very easy. What is for 5%?
I have ever watched.
Hardly ever. What is for 0?
I never
Never.
watched TV anymore.
Exactly. This is for here. Never. Hardly ever. Often and usually. Well, you can use differently this expression. Usually 90% and often is like 70%. We, well, there is not much difference. So there is no problem by using usually or often. It's not big deal. In the exam, maybe it's a big deal, but you have to be careful. Check. You can give an imprint to this presentation so you can have the correct order, or in the presentation from the platform, or in the book. You have here the order of frequency. Okay. Now, what is for number 1? 50%. It says, sometimes I do my homework in front of you. See here, sometimes is giving 50% of the time. The presentation said 30%. Hace ratito vimos la presentación y decía 30% y ahora es 50%. Ahí como que les falla. Number 2. What is the answer for number 2?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. My family. Number 3.
Usually.
Usually. Number 4.
Never.
Never. Never de limón. Very good. Number 5.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Uh,
No. 75%.
Always.
Mm-mm.
No. Often.
Often. What about number 5, Fatima?
Always.
Thank you, Carolina. Number 7. My
Often.
friends and I.
Often.
Often. Well, it says 30%.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Pero often.
I often watch commercials. Oh, 60%. Let's check. Yes, we are correct. So sometimes you can use it for 50% of the time. Hardly ever, only 5%. Usually a 90%, never 0. 75% often. 100% is always. Sometimes 30 to 50, and often 60% of the time. Let's check activity number 4. You have to use frequency adverb. It says read the information about a common error. Here is the common error. The common error is to put the frequency adverb before the subject. Here is before the subject. Frequency adverb plus subject is incorrect. We need to put the frequency adverb but before the subject. Before goes the subject and then frequency adverb. Okay?
Teacher.
Yes.
Pero en el libro ponen que la mayoría de la gente dice sometimes I.
Is the only one. Yes. Sometimes you can say sometimes I or I sometimes. But sometimes is the only one that you can use in that way. You are correct. The book says so. So sometimes it's more common that sometimes but this is the only one. Only is possible with sometimes. So if I use Always I, like this, always I is incorrect. Usually I, incorrect. Hardly ever I is incorrect. Never I is incorrect. The only one that is correct, sometimes I, is sometimes. It's only possible with sometimes. Okay, Carolina? Okay, Fatima?
Okay, teacher.
Did you get it, Fatima?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, you see, sometimes this frequency adverb is the only one that you can use before the subject. It's okay to say sometimes I or I sometimes, the only one. Usually, often, always, hardly ever, or never is not possible. They have to go after the subject. Okay, very good observation, Fatima. And here in this part of the practice, it says that you have to type the correct, all the information that is request here. For example, subject, then frequency adverb, then the verb plus the object, and here the place. For example, number one, what is the subject for this sentence? We are going to write it right here. What is the correct place for the subject? What is the subject? The subject is I. Frequency adverb?
Always.
Always. Verb or object?
Lunch.
Have lunch. Have lunch.
In the
In front of the TV.
In front of the TV. Let's check the answer. That is correct. Now, for number two, for sentence number two, what is the correct order?
She sometimes watches at work.
Sometimes watches TV at work. What about number three, Fatima? This is for you.
We never
the limón.
Watch videos in class.
Okay, Carolina.
I often read magazine in the cafeteria.
In the cafeteria. Let's check the answer. Oh, what is at work? Watches TV. What did yes, she watches. Why am I wrong? Maybe because I put it not in capital letters. TV like this. Let's check. That's why. Read magazine. Read a magazine. My mistake. Read a magazine. Okay. So remember, this is the correct order. The only one that you can put before the subject is sometimes. So it's possible to say, number two, sometimes she watches TV at work, okay? It's the only one, sometimes. Let's continue. Activity number 5. One more. Look at the scrambled sentences in the box. Find the following idioms, subject, verb, frequency, and write them on the correct box. For example, again, number 1, Carolina.
She always, no, she
verb.
Is
She is
always
Always.
in front of
Mhm.
TV.
She's always in front of the TV. Now, please notice that the frequency adverb here is after the verb to be. Okay, this is possible. Okay, you can say she always eats in front of the TV, or she is always in front of the TV. So when you use the verb be and a frequency adverb, the frequency adverb goes after the verb be, only the verb be. I don't know if you understand. Is okay? Questions about this sentence? What is for number 2, Fatima?
They
They,
are
exactly,
never
they are never
at home.
at home. And you see, this is correct too. The verb be is before the frequency adverb. What about number 3, Carolina?
I am
I am.
usually at work.
At work. And finally, Fatima?
We are
Mhm.
hardly ever
Mhm.
at the gym.
Very good. Good job, Carolina. Good job, Fatima. This is another sequence for the frequency adverbs. Frequency adverbs goes before the verb, but they go after the verb be. Exercise 6, it says, read the sentence and change the position of sometimes. What is the correct position here? Or another position for I sometimes get a snack during the commercials? We say this, sometimes I, sometimes I. Let's check the answer. Yes, that is correct. Because sometimes can go before the subject or after the subject. For number 2, Carolina or Fatima?
Sometimes
Sometimes I watch too much TV. What is the other position you can use for sometimes?
I sometimes.
Exactly. I sometimes. That is correct. So you can move I to the first position. I sometimes. Check answer. That is correct. And number 3,
sometimes I
sometimes I. It's the only frequency adverb that can be before the subject. Okay, questions up to here? No?
No,
Are,
teacher.
are you hungry, ladies? Is everything fine? Can we continue with the class? Here in this part of the lesson, we are going to review some vocabulary words about different shows on the TV. Number 1 is a cartoon. What is this kind of a
Cartoon.
program? It's for kids. It's drawing, animates pictures that are talking or moving. Cartoon. Cartoon in Spanish, caricaturas. What do you think is number 2? We have different words here. Sitcom, the news, soap opera, documentary, reality shows, a talk show, or a game show. Carolina, try to guess any number. Same for you, Fatima. You tell me number 4 is this. Number 2 is this. Number 5 is this. Which can you guess? Number 1 is cartoon. Listen.
Cartoon.
Cartoon. Now listen and repeat.
Cartoon.
Cartoon.
Number 2.
Number 2. Yes.
Opera.
Soap opera. Yes. What is soap opera? Una novela. Listen.
Soap opera. Soap opera.
Soap opera. Listen and repeat, please.
Soap opera.
Soap opera. Carolina, what about number 3, 4, 5, 6? Which one? Number 3? Uh-huh. Talk show. Very good. Listen and repeat.
Talk show. Talk show.
What about number 4, Fatima?
Game show.
Exactly. Game show. Listen and repeat.
Game show.
Game show.
Game show.
Game shop.
What about number 5, Carolina?
Fine. Documentary.
Okay, documentary.
Documentary.
Exactly. Listen and repeat, please.
Documentary.
Documentary.
Yes. Number 6, Fatima?
Reality show.
Exactly. Reality show. Listen and repeat, please.
Reality show.
Reality show.
Reality show.
Reality show.
Number 7, Carolina?
Number 7, sitcom.
Sitcom. Finally, the news right here. Listen and repeat.
Sitcom. Sitcom. The news.
The news.
Exactly. Different TV shows. Which TV shows do you prefer, Carolina? Maybe as which one?
Show. Show.
A talk show, okay. What about you, Fatima? Which show do you prefer?
Talk show. Documentary. Reality show.
Okay. There are different TV shows, different. These are some of them, but there are more. But these ones are the more popular. Okay. Let's go for number 3, activity number 3. In this activity, you record your voice again. You listen first.
Cartoon.
Then you record yourself, cartoon, and then you hear yourself.
Cartoon.
Self, cartoon. That's the way you can practice, but we are going to skip this here because you need to do it by yourself in the platform. Hopefully this week is going to be the platform.
Oh no!
Listen.
What is that?
Now, this is only the sound of one type of show. Which show do you think it is?
Oh no! What is that?
What number?
7.
Okay, number 7. What about this one?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer. Now it's Cecilia's turn.
What number is this show?
Number 4.
4.
Good evening. Tonight's top story, 20,000 new jobs.
Which number? Number 8. Very good. Yes, number 8.
But Diane, I love you.
I love you. What number, Fatima?
Number 2.
Yes.
Se escucha el drama.
Okay, welcome to the show. My guest tonight is an actor. Her latest movie is just out this week. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome...
What number is this one? Number 3, that's correct. A talk show.
The groundhog sleeps through the winter and comes out in the spring. It lets us know. The groundhog sleeps through the winter.
And finally.
Okay. Okay. You have 30 seconds. Are you ready?
A reality show. Very good. Good effort, everybody. Let's continue. We have more vocabulary activities. Okay. What show is this? Check the images. Huh?
Soap opera.
Yes, a soap opera. What is this show? What show is this?
Reality show.
A sitcom.
Oh.
Don't worry. What is this show?
A commercial.
A commercial. It's not a show, it's a commercial. Thank you, Fatima. Very good. Number 4.
Game show.
Yes. Number 5.
The news.
Exactly, the news. Number 6.
A reality show.
Really? Very good, Fatima. Finally, number 8. No, number 7.
A talk show.
Okay, congratulations. Now we are looking at the next activity, which is practice your likes and dislikes. We have some vocabulary words that help us to tell what do we like or not. I love means that you are very fine with something. I really like, very similar. And I like. Listen.
So, Fiona, what do you usually watch on TV?
Well, I love documentaries. They're always interesting. And I love the news, too. I watch it 5 times a day.
What about
Really?
number 2?
Do you like reality shows?
Yeah, I do. I really like reality shows. I always watch Big Brother.
Yeah?
And finally, number 3.
And what about soap operas?
Yeah, I like soap operas. I often watch soap operas in the afternoons after class.
Uh-huh.
Repeat after me. I love. I love the news.
I love the news.
I love documentaries.
I love the commentaries.
I really like.
I really like.
I really like reality shows.
I really like a reality show.
Or I like.
I
like soap operas.
I like soap operas.
I like movies.
I like movies.
I like documentaries.
I like documentaries.
These are positive remarks or positive words for a show. Let's check about the negatives. I hate. What means I hate? I hate means odio. Or I can't stand. I can't stand. Take notes. I can't stand means no lo aguanto, no lo soporto. I can't stand. And finally, I don't like means the opposite of I like. I like, I don't like. So, in your case, Fatima and Carolina, what shows do you hate? You hate sitcoms, okay? What about you, Fatima?
Game show?
Okay, you say I hate game shows. Can't stand, no soportar. What shows you can't stand? A talk show. I can't stand talk
Show.
show. What do you don't like?
Sitcoms.
Okay, let's listen. This can change a little bit, but it's only the practice. Listen.
So, Bruce, how about you? Do you like game shows?
Oh no, I hate game shows.
Really?
Okay, Carolina, it's your turn. Click play on I Can Stand. You can control my exactly. Can no, but first click on play.
Well, do you like talk shows? Sometimes they're interesting.
No, I can't stand talk shows. I never watch talk shows with celebrities.
No?
Talk shows. Very good. Now it's time for Fatima. Fatima, I'm going to give you the control of my mouse. Please click on play for I don't like.
Do you like fun shows? How about sitcoms and cartoons?
No, sorry. I don't like sitcoms and I don't like cartoons. You know, I hardly ever watch TV.
I don't like sitcoms, cartoons. Very good. Click on check answers, Fatima. Thank you. Yes. Those are likes and dislikes. Please repeat after me. I love.
Love.
I like.
I like.
What was the other word? ¿Cuál era la otra palabrita? I like, I love, I really like. Repeat after me. I really like.
I really like.
Okay, those are positives, but negatives, I hate. Repeat after me. I hate.
I hate.
I hate game shows.
I hate game show.
I can't stand.
I can't.
I can't stand talk shows.
I can't stand talk show.
I don't like.
I don't like.
I don't like cartoons.
I don't like cartoon.
I don't like sitcoms.
I don't like sitcoms.
Or you can make a mix. I don't like cartoons and sitcoms.
I don't like cartoons.
It's on your book too, you see? Likes, these are positives. Dislikes, negatives. Let's continue. Let's go for activity number 3. And here, vocabulary, likes and dislikes. Okay. Carolina, I think you have the control. No, Fatima, you have the control. Can you move some words that are for likes, please? Fatima?
And then
Or Carolina, is your Carolina, you have the control. Sorry, Fatima. It's Carolina with the control. Can you move the words for likes, Carolina? Can you move the words here to the spaces for likes? You have the control of my mouse. You can do it. Drag and drop the words in the correct boxes. Yes. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Oops. Very good, Carolina. Now I'm going to give control to Fatima. Fatima, you do the other three, please. The other three. Now you can do it. Very good. Check answers. Excellent. Good job, Carolina. Good job, Fatima. Those are words that we can use to tell about our likes and dislikes. Okay, let's continue. Exercise number 4. Building vocabulary, likes and dislikes. I want you to help me to choose the correct word for these sentences. Please, Carolina, read the first sentence and then select the correct like or dislike vocabulary word. Okay? Can you read sentence number 1 and then complete the second part?
Really like.
Okay, but you need to read the complete sentence and then read the second sentence. Like this, for example. This is the example. You are going to do this. My best friend plays tennis every evening. She really likes. But you have to read the complete sentence. Now for number 2, Carolina, can you read now sentence number 2 and complete the option?
I love movies. I always watch the late show.
Very good. So I always watch the late show. I love movies.
Oh,
I hate. Yes, let's check the answer. No, you were correct. My mistake. I love movies. Sorry, Carolina, you were right. Number 3, Fatima. Can you read my sister?
My sister really liked her job. She hardly ever has time for fun.
Okay, she really likes her job. Number 4, Carolina. Our parents.
our parents.
They never watch them.
Our parents can stand the come. They never watch them.
Very good. Fatima, number 5. My new teacher isn't very strict. Please read it.
My new teacher is very strict. It's great. I like her classes.
Okay. Carolina, number 6. It says, it's just not fun. I'm a big soccer fan.
I really like basketball. It's just not fun. I'm a big soccer fan.
Okay, I really like baseball. It's not fun. I'm a big soccer fan. I really like.
I hate.
I hate. Repeat after me. I hate. I hate. Oh, Fatima, this is incorrect. My sister really like her job. No, really likes no. My sister doesn't like her job. She hardly ever has time for fun. Well, it's tricky, but these are the correct answer. In the book, maybe we have something similar. In this part, it's how much TV do you watch? For example, I don't know if you can answer this, Fatima or Carolina. How many hours of TV do you watch a week? How many hours do you watch TV? Carolina, Fatima.
We watch TV.
I watch TV.
Watch TV for 3 hours.
3 hours?
Weekends.
3 hours on weekends. Okay. What about you, Fatima? How many hours?
2 and 3 hours a week.
2 or 3 hours a week? Okay. Very good. Now let's go to lesson C. We are finishing this short lesson. Now let's just give some practice to this part before we go to lesson C. It says, now this is an exercise for you to record your voice again. You listen and then you record your voice. And then you are going to write a blog. Well, you have to do this in your platform. When you get your access, we are going to check about the activity. Okay. Let's go for lesson C now. It says, do what, go where. This is vocabulary for our growth in English. Listen, please.
Vocabulary notebook. Do what? Go where? Learning tip. Verbs plus. Write down verbs and the words you can use after them.
Play music. Play sports. Play soccer. Have breakfast. Have coffee. Have lunch.
One more time.
Vocabulary notebook. Do what? Go where? Learning tip. Verbs plus. Write down verbs and the words you can use after them.
Play music. Play sports. Play soccer. Have breakfast. Have coffee. Have lunch.
Now, do you understand this? ¿Sí entienden esto, chicas? This is, sorry, Fátima, Carolina.
Las diferentes maneras de utilizar play and have.
Okay, yes, Carolina.
No, teacher.
Okay. This, it says, write down verbs, escribe los verbos, and then the words you can use after them. Y también algunas palabras que puedes utilizar después de un verbo. For example, play music. But you can say play music, play sports, or play soccer. You can say also play the guitar, play a track, play a video, play a movie. There are many words. Hay muchas. This is for you to remember words and to learn more vocabulary. Also, we have breakfast, have coffee, have lunch, have a meeting, have an exam, have a friend. Words that follow verbs, palabras que siguen verbos, in order to create more vocabulary for you, so you can practice. Es para que puedan practicar y crear más vocabulario para ustedes. Son palabras muy recurrentes. ¿Sale? Fátima, Carolina?
Yes, teacher.
Very good. But you have to write them, and also, well, you write the verb, and as many words as you can remember that follow that verb. Pueden escribir el verbo y todas las palabras que ustedes crean que van con el verbo para que continúe y lo puedan aprender. Let's check the active. This is for you to remember active. For example, play. What words can you use after play? ¿Qué palabras pueden utilizar después de play?
Play video game.
Play video games. Very good. What else? Play ¿qué?
Soccer.
Play soccer. Exactly. What about eat?
Breakfast.
Eat breakfast.
It's dinner.
Huh?
It's dinner.
Eat dinner.
It's lunch.
Eat lunch.
Snack.
Eat snacks. Very good. Take.
Take a class.
Take a class.
Take a lesson.
Take a lesson. Yes.
Do homework.
Do homework.
Do the laundry.
Do the laundry.
Play on a team.
Play on a team. Very good. And as you can see, you can write these verbs and then words that go with the verbs to create more vocabulary and to sound more natural. These words are always together. Eat snacks. Let's go eat lunch. Let's eat dinner. Let's eat breakfast. Oh, let's take a lesson. Take a class. You see, these words are very popular, are very used in English, and there are more words after those verbs. Great job, guys. Let's check activity number 3. We have more verbs. We have the verb go, watch, and read. What word goes after go? What word? Go
on the internet.
Go on the internet, yes.
Go
Watch videos.
Okay, watch videos. Watch videos, yes.
to the movies.
Go to the movies, yes.
Read the newspaper.
Yes.
Read a book.
Read a book.
Go out with friends.
Exactly. Go out with friends. Watch. Watch documentaries. Watch TV.
Read magazine.
Read a magazine. Very good. Excellent job, ladies. You see, more words, more verbs and words that go with the verb. And you make your own vocabulary. For example, stand online. It says, make a vocabulary flip pad. On each page, write a verb and the words that you can use it. This is only a picture, but a flip pad means you have to use a notebook, write the verb, and words that you can use it after the verb. Es como una lista en un cuaderno. Ocupas un verbo y las palabras que van después de cada verbo para que tú recuerdes esos verbos. ¿Sale, vale? Es una sugerencia.
¿Cómo, teacher? No entendí.
Sí, lo que dice aquí es make a vocabulary flip pad. Un vocabulary flip pad es una lista de vocabulario donde, así como hemos hecho acá, pone los verbos y después del verbo pones la palabra que va, o sea, para que tú lo recuerdes. Es como tus apuntes.
Ok.
¿Sí? De manera que tú, al crear este flippad de vocabulario flippad, pues tengas más presente estas palabras que van combinadas. ¿Sale? Y si lo puedes hacer en tu cuaderno, pues qué mejor. So you use your book or notebook and you go find some words that you can use after each verb. You have it here in the platform, yes, but you can have it on your book too. Okay? Okay, let's continue. Is there any other question? ¿Hay alguna otra pregunta?
No, teacher.
No, everything fine? Fatima?
No, teacher.
Okay. This is lesson C. In this part of the unit, we are going to learn how to ask questions in two ways. There are questions that we can elaborate in a different way to be clear or to be not too direct. And also say, I mean, to repeat ideas or say more about the information we are talking about. So these are the two objects that we are going to learn in this lesson, lesson C of unit number 5. Now, in this part of the lesson, we are going to check this conversation. What do you do after class? Let's check what is on the book. This is a conversation strategy. You see, we are going to ask questions in a different way. For example, what do people do after class? And you have to make a list of the 6 things that you can do after class. Carolina, Fatima, please try to think about activities that people do after class. So when you finish class, what do you do?
I think I eat.
You eat, okay. What about you, Fatima? Think another activity, Carolina?
I laundry.
You do the laundry.
Laundry.
Mm-hmm.
To study English.
I study English, yes. Here, for example, here we have, what about you, Fatima? What activities do you do after class?
I eat. And cleaning my room and clean the house.
Okay. Here we have some ideas. Who meets friends for dinner? ¿Quién se ve con los amigos? Who goes to work? ¿Quién va a trabajar? Who goes to the gym, go to a cafe? On the internet, play sports, go straight home, spend time with the family, watch TV or study. It says, what do you do after class? Choose the things you do after class. What do you do, Fatima, about these activities?
Meet friends for dinner.
Okay, what about you, Carolina?
Study.
Study, okay. One more, Fatima?
Go on the internet.
Okay. What about you, Carolina?
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym. Oh, okay. Very good. So this is a question. This is the question. Do you go straight home? Maybe you can answer this question with a yes or no, or give more information. Sometimes people don't like to be asked like this. Algunas veces las personas no les gusta que les pregunten, ¿qué haces después de la escuela? Muchas veces, ¿qué te importa? What do you care? But we are going to learn another way to ask, to sound not too direct. Now, let's check about this activity. The same question. Do you go straight home? Do you go directly to your house? Maybe you can answer like this. I work in a restaurant. The restaurant doesn't cost a lot. Dinners are not too good. I work 6 hours a week. In this activity, we are going to match the sentence with the similar meaning using these words to put in the correct box. For example, number 1, it says, I have a part-time job on the weekends. Which sentence is similar to number 1?
I work 6 hours.
Very good, Carolina. Number 2, I'm a server in a restaurant. Which sentence is similar for number 2?
Work in a restaurant.
Very good. The restaurant is cheap.
The restaurant doesn't cost a lot.
Very good. And number 4, the food is terrible. The dinners are not good. Las cenas no son buenas. Okay. Remember, this is the question. Maybe we are getting more vocabulary here. Let's check activity number 3. We are going to match again similar meanings for these sentences. Okay, I'm going to give control to Carolina so you can please select the similar sentence for number 1. Number 1 says, after work, I always go straight home. Okay. Very good. Now, number 2 for Fatima. Let me give you control, Fatima. Now you have control, Fatima. On Saturdays, I meet a friend for dinner. Excellent. Very good. Now I'm going to give control to Carolina again. We usually go somewhere nice. Okay. We go to a nice restaurant. Excellent. Okay, very bad. Click on check answers, Carolina.
Yes.
Very good. Great job. You see? Oops.
No, me pasé.
Yes, but don't worry. Don't worry. Let's go back to number 3. It says, these are similar meanings. So you can make a sentence with similar meaning, but not using the same words. This strategy, we are going to apply that strategy for the question also. For example, instead of saying, after work, I always go straight home, we can say, oh, I work, after work, I never go out. Meaning that you don't go to a different place. So you change the words, but the meaning is very similar. And we are going to use this strategy to create a different question, but with the same meaning. Okay, now let's check this activity. It says, read the questions. Are they yes, no questions or information questions? Choose yes or no depending of the type of question. For example, number one, what do you do after class? Is this question a yes, no question or an information question?
Information question.
Yes. Do you go straight home? Yes or no, or information question?
Yes or no question.
Where do you go?
Information question. Go sometime. No, yes or no.
Yes or not. Yes or not.
Yes or no. Teacher, no se escucha.
Sorry, there are some differences between those questions, but one is for a yes or no, and maybe you can give more information, or it's a very, very straight information question. Let's check activity number 5. Take a look at this. We are going to see a video. We are going to listen also the conversation, and we are going to answer about Carmen's activities or Nick activities. Are you ready to listen the video and watch the video? Ready?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, please, here goes.
So, what do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
Well, usually. Sometimes I meet a friend for dinner.
Oh, where do you go? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good and it's cheap, but the service is terrible. Do you know it?
Well, actually, I work there. I'm a server.
One more time. Let's listen to the conversation one more time.
So, what do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
Well, usually. Sometimes I meet a friend for dinner.
Oh, where do you go? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good and it's cheap, but the service is terrible. Do you know it?
Well, actually, I work there. I'm a server.
Okay, I want you to notice this. Nick is asking like this. So, what do you do after class? This is one question. But he also makes another question. Do you go straight home? Two questions to get the same information. Well, usually sometimes I meet a friend for dinner. And here is the strategy. Where do you go? I mean, do you go somewhere nice? Just to make sure that you get the information here, we have one question here, and here we have a second question, but trying to get the same information. Now, let's go to the questions here. What does Carmen do? After class, Carmen usually go straight home. What about this question? Carmen likes Fabio's restaurant. The food is what? Terrible. Let's listen again.
So, you go. I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Here is about Fabio's.
But the service is it's okay. I mean, the food's good and it's cheap, but the service is terrible.
So the food is
Good.
good. And Nick says, Nick knows Fabio's restaurant, or Nick doesn't know Fabio's restaurant.
No, Fabio restaurant. Trabaja en el terrible servicio.
Exactly. He is A server. Server is another word for waiter. What is a waiter? What is a waiter? Huh?
Camarero.
Yes, waiter, mesero. And this word is similar to server. Server is the same as waiter. Okay? So let's continue. Let's continue with the activities. Let's go to activity number 6. And it says conversation. Do you go straight home? Watch the video again. Who asked these questions? Complete the chart. Now, can you remember who asked, where do you go? Who asked, I mean, do you go somewhere nice? Who asked, do you know Fabio's? Do you know it? Do you go straight home? Let's watch the video again.
So, what do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
Well, usually. Sometimes I meet a friend for dinner.
Oh, where do you go? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good and it's cheap, but the service is terrible. Do you know it?
Well, actually, I work there. I'm a server.
Okay. Fatima, do you have the control or Carolina? Okay. What are Carmen's questions? Drag and drop one question for Carmen. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Now let's go with Fatima. Fatima, I'm going to give you control of my mouse, of my cursor. Now drag the other words, the other questions. Fatima, are you there? Okay, where do you go? I mean, do you go somewhere nice? That's for Nick, okay. Under the, yes. Very good. Yes, that's it. Let me check the answers. Okay, yes, great job, ladies. Here are some questions now. Let's move on. It says, asking questions in 2 ways. We are going to learn how to make a similar question, but it will help us not to sound too direct. Check this out. Asking questions in 2 ways. Read the notice book right here. It says, notice Nick asks questions in 2 ways. His questions are clear and not too direct. So what do you do after class? Number 2, do you go straight home? This is the question that he is asking. A 2-way question. What about number 2? Oh, where do you go? What is the second question?
Hi, man. Do you somewhere nice?
Do you go somewhere nice? Yes, I mean. I mean. Repeat after me. I mean.
I mean.
I mean. Very good. Those are the questions. These questions are similar because they are getting the information, but they change words a little bit in order to sound more natural, not too direct, as says in the notice book. To be clear and not too direct. Okay? This is a strategy for a conversation to sound more natural. Let's continue. We have some practice to do. Here we are going to listen to this explanation.
Conversation strategy. Asking questions in two ways. Listen to this conversation.
What do you do after class?
Well,
Sometimes one question isn't clear. Now listen to this conversation.
What do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
Well, usually. Sometimes I meet a friend for dinner.
Okay, sometimes one question is not clear. So we add a second question to be clear and not too direct. Let's check the next box.
People often ask questions in two ways. This makes the questions clear and not too direct. Listen and repeat.
Please, Fatima, Carolina, listen and repeat.
What do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
What do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
Very good. One more time.
What do you do after class? Do you go straight home?
What do you do
after class? Do you go straight home?
Very good. Now the answer.
Well, usually. Sometimes I meet a friend for dinner.
Well,
usually. Sometimes I meet a friend for dinner.
Very good. Now let's check more about how to make a question. It says asking questions in two ways. It says read the question pairs. We have here two questions. Where do you live? I mean, do you live near here? We are going to select a good second question. Check, it says, which have a good second question, which don't have good second questions. Choose good or not good. So in this activity, we need to analyze the second question, which is good or not. Maybe to be more clear, remember, we need to be clear and not too direct. Number one, it's done. Check the question. Where do you live? I mean, do you live near here? Is a good question. Number two, check the question. Who do you go out with? Do you usually study in the evenings? Is the second question good or not good? Carolina, Fatima?
Not good.
Not good. Why is not good? Because the first question is asking about people. Who do you go out with? And the second question is study in the evenings. Nothing to do with the first one. Okay, very good, Fatima. Number 3 and 4 are for Carolina. Number 5 and 6 are for Fatima. Please I'm going to give you like 20 seconds. Please check the questions. Analyze if the second question is good or not good, okay? I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Okay, ready, ladies? Number 3 and 4, Carolina, right? What about number 3, Carolina? What do you do after work? When do you eat? No, when do you eat breakfast? Is the second question good or not good?
Good.
Is good?
No good, no good.
No good. Be careful, Carolina. Okay, Carolina, please read read the two questions, please.
Do you like your class?
Your classes.
Classes? I mean, do you have good teachers?
Okay, one more time. Do you like your classes? I mean, do you have good teachers? 1, 2, 3.
Do you like classes? I mean, have good teachers?
Good or not good?
No good.
A good question. Okay. Fatima, when do you exercise? I mean, do you go out for lunch? It's a good question or a bad question?
Not good.
Not good. Can you read number 6, Fatima?
How often do you go on the internet? Do you usually check your email every day?
Good question or not good question?
Good.
Exactly. Very good, ladies. Very good. Excellent job. Let's go for activity number 2. You see, some questions are good, some questions are not, but we need to create a similar question. Here, we need to create the second question by moving the correct second questions for question number 1. Who has the control now? ¿Quién tiene el control ahorita?
Yo, teacher.
Okay. What do you do for lunch?
Would you take a short breakfast?
A short break. Now, Fatima, it's your turn. Fatima, ready? Where do you go after class? Okay. Number 3, Carolina, is your turn. Let me give you the control. Here you go. How often do you go shopping? Carolina, is your turn. Select the correct second question. Okay. Very good. Now, can you put the last question, please? Thank you. Okay, check answers. Oops, only one. Good. We make a lot of mistakes. Listen to the conversation.
What do you do for lunch? Do you take a short break?
Where do you go after class? Do you have a job in the evening?
How often do you go shopping? I mean, do you go every weekend?
Do you go to the gym in the mornings? I mean, do you exercise before class?
Okay, let's correct the sentences. This one is correct. Right here. And this one. Why is this incorrect? Maybe Maybe it's not to be here. Well, no entiendo por qué la pone mal. Es la que está ahí. Listen.
What do you do for lunch? Do you take a short break?
Well, I don't know what's happened, but yes, we have them correctly. You see, this is the second question. In order to be more clear, to get the information. Let's go for activity number 4. Now, I want you to do it again, but now please read the first one, and then you are going to read the second question. It says match the good second questions with the first. And after that, we are going to listen. Okay. Well, in this case, Fatima or Carolina, you are going to read and I'm going to move it. Okay. Give me my mouse, Carolina. Carolina. Thank you. Okay. Please, Carolina, read number 1.
I mean, do you have friends in your class?
Okay, but first read the question, the first question, and then you read the second one, okay?
Who do you hang out with from class? I mean, do you have friends in your class?
Excellent job. Very good. Now, Fatima, read number 2 and the second question.
How do you usually get home after class? And do you take the subways or the bus?
Very good job. Carolina, number 3.
Your favorite restaurant? I mean, do you need coffee? No, I mean, do you have a favorite?
Favorite. Finally, Fatima, can you read number 4?
Do you ever feel tired after class? I mean, do you need a coffee?
Do you need a coffee? Yes, those are correct. Very good. You see, the second question sounds more natural, not too direct, and more clear. Well, let's check the audios. Listen, please.
Who do you hang out with from class? I mean, do you have friends in your class?
How do you usually get home after class? Do you take the subway or the bus?
What's your favorite restaurant? I mean, do you have a favorite?
Do you ever feel tired after class? I mean, do you need coffee?
Very good. Exercise 5. It says, well, in this case, we need to play the role again. It doesn't show. I don't know what's happening with the platform. It should show the recording part. There's nothing here, but don't worry. And as you can see here, we are using the strategy I mean. I mean in Spanish, you can use it for quiero decir, I mean. I mean this, quiero decir esto. I mean that. I mean, do you have friends? I mean, well, sometimes you ask something and you give more information to be more clear, like the case on the questions. For example, who do you hang out with from class? I mean, do you have friends in your class? So you are more clear about the question, because sometimes people need to be more friendly. Let's check the strategy, the I mean strategy. Let's check the explanation. Please listen.
Strategy plus. I mean. You can use I mean to repeat your ideas.
Where do you go for dinner? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
You can use I mean to say more about something.
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good.
You can use I mean to repeat your ideas or to say more about something. Listen and repeat.
Where do you go for dinner? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good.
You didn't listen and repeat. Ladies, one more time.
You can use I mean to repeat your ideas or to say more about something.
Listen and repeat, please.
Listen and repeat.
Where do you go for dinner? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Where do you go for dinner?
Where do you go for dinner? I mean, do you go somewhere nice?
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good.
You know Fabio's is okay.
Do you know Fabio's? It's okay. I mean, the food's good.
Okay. You see, I mean is used to give more information to give a little explanation, to say something more clear, or to say more information about something. Okay, let's go for activity number 2 now. Strategy plus, I mean, it says complete the conversations with sentences in the box, and then we are going to listen to check. Number 1 is an example, it's done. It says, do you ever go out on weeknights? Well, not very often. I mean, I often go to bed early during the week. What about number 2? How do you like the restaurants around here? Which one do you think is the best? I mean, they're not cheap, but they're good. I mean, are they good? I mean, do you have any free time? I mean, I have 2 part-time jobs. Or I mean, we have dinner and watch a movie. Which one is the correct one?
I mean, do you have any free time?
Check the question, Fatima. How do you like the restaurants around here?
I mean, they are not cheap, but they go good.
Could be. It says, how do you like the restaurants around here? They're okay. This is the question. Are they good? The answer, they're okay. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're good. Let's check the answers. Yes. Okay. Number 3 is for Carolina, and number 4 is for Fatima. Try to get the correct answers for these 2, okay?
You have time to relax on the weekend? Yeah, I spend time with my family.
Exactly.
I I mean, we have dinner and watch movie.
Okay, very good. What about number 4, Fatima? What do you do in your free time? Can you read this, Fatima?
I mean, do you have any free time?
Mm.
Well, I don't have a lot. I mean, I have 2 part-time jobs.
2 part-time jobs. Very good. Let's listen to the conversation.
1. Do you ever go out on weeknights?
Well, not very often. I mean, I often go to bed early during the week.
2.
How do you like the restaurants around here? I mean, are they good?
They're okay. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're good. 3. Do you have time to relax on the weekends?
Yeah, I spend time with my family. I mean, we have dinner and watch a movie.
4.
What do you do in your free time? I mean, do you have any free time?
Well, I don't have a lot. I mean, I have 2 part-time jobs.
Very good job, ladies. Let's check the answers. Correct. Let's go for activity number 3 before we finish today's class. In this part, it's again, listen, record yourself, and then listen to your recording. You have to listen and repeat, recording your voice, and then compare your recording with the model. It's a very nice activity. I hope you can do it in your platform when you have the access. Okay, let's continue with the strategy I mean to sound more natural, not too direct, and to give more information. Now, complete the conversations about free time. There are 2 extra sentences. 2 extra sentences that we cannot use them. Only 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is the correct one for letter A? What do you do on the weekends?
I mean, I usually work on Sunday and Sunday nights.
No.
I really love the Sunday movie TV.
No. Let me help you. Do you go out a lot? And the answer, sometimes. I work a lot. What is the correct one?
On Saturday study?
No.
I mean, usually work.
Exactly. Let's check the answers. Yes. Okay, here we have 2 sentences missing. The next one, letter A. Really? Where do you work? I work in a restaurant. How about you?
Where is it, the restaurant?
No.
On Saturday I study?
I really love this Sunday, Monday. What do you do? The weekends.
Exactly. I usually go to the movies on Friday night with friends. On Saturday, I study. What do you do on Sunday? I watch TV.
I really love to this Sunday.
Okay, let's see the answers. Yes, we have that correct. Here again, you have to listen and check the correct one. This is not for record, it's only listen and give the answer. Listen to number 1.
No, I have a job at a radio station, so I work every day. I mean, my evenings are free, but usually I'm tired in the evenings, so I just go home and relax.
The man talks about what he does on the weekends or during the week. Only Saturday and Sunday or the whole week? Listen again.
No, I have a job at a radio station, so I work every day. I mean, my evenings are free, but usually I'm tired in the evenings, so I just go home and relax.
What is the correct? On the weekends or during the week?
During the week.
During the week. Number 2. On Fridays or on the weekend?
No, never. They're so noisy, and I don't like the music. So yeah, on Fridays I meet my friends and we go to a cafe and we just talk and hang out together.
Carolina, on Fridays or on the weekends? On Fridays, very good. Number 3, Fatima.
Well, yeah. I mean, we always have dinner together. But then I do my homework, and my mom reads to my little brother. My dad usually watches the news, and sometimes my brother and I play games on our computers.
Family or friends?
Family.
Family, correct.
Well, I hang out with Jessica. She's really fun. We're friends from school, so yeah, she's nice. We're good friends.
Carolina, her sister or her friend?
Her friend.
Her friend.
I don't really know them. I live in an apartment building, and I never really see anyone. They're all pretty quiet, and anyway, I work at a club every night, so I get home very late. So, no, I don't really know my neighbors.
Friends or neighbors?
Friends.
Sure?
No, neighbor.
Neighbors, yes, neighbor. I don't really know my neighbors. Very good. We are finishing here. It says listening and strategies. What's the question? Listen to the things 5 people say. Which questions are the people answering? Match the questions with the responses. Here, we are going to listen to the responses, and we need to move the box to the correct question. First, let's check the question. Number 1. So, what do you usually do in the evenings? I mean, do you spend time with your family? Question number 2. Where do you usually go in the evenings? I mean, do you usually go to a club? Number 3. Do you know your neighbors? I mean, are they nice? Number 4. Can you read number 4, Carolina?
Who's your best friends? I mean, who do you usually hang out with?
Very good. Fatima, can you read number 5?
So when do you usually have time? I mean, do you have time during the week?
Exactly. Now let's listen the answer. Answer number 1.
No, I have a job at a radio station, so I work every day. I mean, my evenings are free, but usually I'm tired in the evenings, so I just go home and relax.
What is the correct question? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Listen again.
No, I have a job at a radio station, so I work every day. I mean, my evenings are free, but usually I'm tired in the evenings, so I just go home and relax.
Let me help you. This is for number 5. Yes, number 5. Answer number 2.
No, never. They're so noisy, and I don't like the music. So, yeah, on Fridays, I meet my friends and we go to a cafe and we just talk and hang out together.
4.
Number 4? Really? Listen again.
No, never. They're so noisy, and I don't like the music. So, yeah, on Fridays, I meet my friends and we go to a cafe and we just talk and hang out together.
Exactly, number 2. Answer number 3.
Well, yeah. I mean, we always have dinner together. But then I do my homework, and my mom reads to my little brother. My dad usually watches the news, and sometimes my brother and I play games on our computers.
1.
Exactly, good job.
Well, I hang out with Jessica. She's really fun. We're friends from school. So, yeah, she's nice. We're good friends.
3.
4.
3 or 4?
4.
4.
I don't really know them. I live in an apartment building. I don't really know them. I live in an apartment building and I never really see anyone. They're all pretty quiet, and anyway, I work at a club every night, so I get home very late.
Let's check the answers. Yes. This is a good practice for you. The strategy is to read the question first, understand the question, and then listen to the audios. Okay, we are going to stop right here. I think it was a good class. I don't know if you have questions for any of the topics, maybe in your notes, and we can check the questions next week. But for today, it's okay. So, what are the expressions we can use when something happens 100% of the time? Remember the frequency adverbs? Something that happened 100% of the time.
Always.
Always, very good. Something that happens 50% of the time. 50%.
Usually.
Could be sometimes. Something that happens 0% of the time.
Never.
Never. Never de limón. Very good. Okay. So something that is good on television, which words can you use for something that is really, really good?
Sometimes.
No, this is likes and dislikes.
I like documentary.
I like, yes, documentaries. Okay. So, okay, are you seeing my screen? ¿Están viendo mi pantalla?
Yes.
Okay, cartoons, different. This is what we learned today. Some vocabulary words. We review the simple present information questions. We also review a little bit about speaking naturally. Do you? Sometimes we lose the do and do you go out? Where do you go? What do you do? Not saying the complete word. Then we learn about frequency adverbs. And finally, vocabulary words about TV shows. After that, we finish with the strategy about how to speak more natural using I mean, or to repeat a question in a different way. For example, right here, what do you do for lunch? Letter F. Do you take a short break? What is a good question for number 2? Where do you go after class?
I mean, do you exercise before class? A.
You take the subway or the bus?
Could be. Let's analyze.
A.
Do you have a job? I guess letter A is correct. How often do you go shopping?
I mean, do you go every weekend?
Very good, Carolina. Very good, Fatima. One more. Do you go to the gym in the mornings?
E. I mean, do you exercise before class?
Exactly. Carolina, this is for you. Who do you hang out with from class?
I mean, do you need coffee?
Mm,
Oh, no.
who, people?
Thank you.
Let me help you. Letter B. I
I
mean,
mean, do you have friends in your class?
exactly. Okay. We are going to continue next week, ladies. So it was nice to having you here. So we are going to continue. Remember, practicing your workbook, and we are going to check your work later on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Please